All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, I'm going to be talking about 4 teams that I think are losing this offseason so far. A couple of teams I think just either aren't doing enough or not making the right moves and just feel like they should be doing a lot more and a lot better. So we're going to talk about that here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, doing all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Look to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So we're gonna go team by team. First thing I want to talk about is the Lakers. I feel like the Lakers are not really doing as much as I thought in this offseason. In the NBA draft, they got a Thiero, who I think is a solid pickup. But free agency, they just haven't really hit a lot of marks. LeBron did opt into his contract, but now you have the whole LeBron situation, and it looks like he isn't going to be a Laker past this season. It kind of feels like. There's that whole, Rich Paul went on a big spree talking about how, he's not really sure about what the future looks like for this team and he wants to still win a championship. Doesn't know if this is the right team to do it. And so now you have the whole LeBron trade rumors and all that stuff that's really firing up, which is something that always happens. It feels like in LA, there's always some drama of some sort somewhere. And now you have that drama going on, along with Dwayne Finney-Smith leaving. You didn't retain Dwayne Finney-Smith, who you gave up 3 second-round picks for last year, and was a big part in this team, helping defense. Him and Luka had the connection like that. He was a kind of a big part of the team, and he goes to Houston on a deal. You don't retain him. You pick up Jake LaRavia, who is decent, but he's not going to do the same things that Dwayne Finney-Smith provides, and who knows how much of a rotational, how much of a big piece he is in the long run next year. You also pick up DeAndre Ayton finally, which I don't think is a bad move at all. But then you also miss out on a lot of other centers, guys like Brook Lopez and Clint Capella, who I thought were definitely going to be in the conversation of being the Lakers. They go on to new teams. So I just feel like the Lakers haven't really done enough that I think they should be doing. And then there's also reports that came out after the first day in free agency where they didn't really do anything but sign Jake LaRavia, saying that they're kind of waiting for 2027 free agency when that cap opens up, because they think they could be big players in that free agency, which I don't know who's in that class yet. Is to be determined. So it looks like the Lakers are kind of taking a little bit of a chill route, which I don't know if that's maybe the smartest play when you have Luka Doncic and LeBron James here, especially with LeBron James, all the things going on around him, all the things that have been said out of his camp after he opted into his player option for next season. So it's a very weird situation going on right now in LA. Obviously, they're trying to do anything they can to keep Luka Doncic. They were kind of gift wrapped, handed Luka Doncic, to help their franchise. And so it would seem like they're trying to do everything they can to keep Luka satisfied, But you also still have LeBron James, too. And I would have assumed that coming into this offseason, you would think they're trying to go all in on, we have Luka and LeBron right now. We have 2 generational talents on our team right now. We got to capitalize on this and we have to win. But how wide open the NBA feels like, we have LeBron and Luka. We got to do everything we can to win. And it just feels like they're not really doing that right now. Maybe are they kind of taking a step back and thinking, you know what? Let's wait for LeBron to leave so then we can finally build around Luka and get LeBron out of here? Is that what they're thinking? I kind of don't really know what's going on with the Lakers. Obviously, I'm saying all this with the rest of these teams too. We're only like a couple days into it. It's July 3rd right now. We still have a couple days until, we still have a lot of time before the season starts and a lot of other moves can be made, trades can be made, and all that stuff. So this is all kind of like maybe a little bit more over dramatized right now. But early on, it just feels like the Lakers aren't really doing enough that I thought they probably would be doing when you have LeBron and Luka. And now there's, a whole lot of controversy and rumors about the LeBron trade and if that's going to happen. Does he even want to be in LA with the Lakers? And that's going to be a whole thing that's going to be talked about for basically the entire season until a move happens of some sort. Or unless they're really, really good, that no one cares. But with this roster right now, I don't know if they're going to be really, really good. Again, I don't think DeAndre Ayton's a bad signing. But I just don't know. DeAndre Ayton has had his question marks, which is why he's in this position right now. Of lack of effort and just does he actually love the game, all the stuff like that. And going to a team with LeBron and Luka, that's going to be very much tested. So we're really going to see, if DeAndre Ayton can't produce right now with Luka Doncic and LeBron James and basically him being in a position where all he has to do is just catch lobs and block some shots and rebound, like basic big man things that he's been doing since he's been probably like a little kid. Like if he can't do that effectively well for this Laker team, I don't know what else more to really think about DeAndre Ayton. So Lakers are a team that I kind of feel like losing free agency and losing the offseason a little bit so far. Next thing I want to talk about is the Golden State Warriors. Similar boat to the Lakers, where they made the trade for Jimmy Butler last year. You saw there, if Steph Curry doesn't hurt, who knows what happens in that series, and maybe they go to the conference finals, who knows. But with the aging team, with Steph, Jimmy, and Dre all on the same timeline, all trying to win a championship right now, I would be thinking that the Warriors are trying to make more win-now moves than what they're actually doing. Because the Warriors have not done anything so far in this free agency. It's been a couple of days. They have not re-signed anybody. They haven't added anybody in. The only thing that's happened is they lost Kevon Looney. He went to the Pelicans. Like, that's the only thing they've done. They have the big question mark of Jonathan Kuminga. And what's going to happen there. I thought for sure he was going to be a sign and trade gone candidate. But now things are kind of up in air and limbo. After the first day of free agency, there was a lot of talks from Warriors supporters saying that there's a big chance that he might come back, which I kind of hate for both sides. I don't think Jonathan Kuminga should be a Warrior next season. Like, for the Warriors, I just don't think it makes sense because he doesn't really fit right now. And I feel like that kind of relationship has gone downhill as time has gone on. And I also feel like for Jonathan Kuminga's sake, I feel like it's time for him to go to a new situation, where he can get better in himself, not coming to the season, he's not playing or not, and it's like, oh, why is he on the bench? Why is he on the bench? Then he gets mad, then someone says something about it, then all of a sudden he starts playing, and he has a couple decent games here and there, but he's not at that level, and then he gets back to the bench again. It's like this whole cycle that goes on every year of Jonathan Kuminga versus Steve Kerr and the Warriors, and how much is he playing, and how good is he actually? Can he actually be on a winning team? Like, it's just this whole thing that's been going on for the past 2 or 3 years, and it's like, I think it's time. It's time to end it. Let him go to a new situation. You move on and go get something else. Like, I just feel like that's what should happen. But from all reports of what things are looking like right now, things are not likely. Last night, there are rumors going on that a potential King signing trade could be happening, where he goes to Sacramento, which I don't know how I feel about that. But for the Warriors, I think it's good because they just don't need Jonathan Kuminga around anymore. I just don't think that relationship is going well. But besides that, they also have not done anything else. I think they're waiting on Al Horford. Al Horford is a free agent right now, and he's taking some time to kind of think things through and see, what his situation is going on, which I think that would be a solid move. But I don't know if that really puts this team on the next level of like, oh, shoot, this is a contender in the West. They're obviously a really good team, and they obviously can win a lot of games. When you have Steph, Jimmy, Dre, I think that's a really good three. And you saw it last year. They had a really hot second half, and had a really good first round against the Rockets and all that stuff. Like, they are a good team. But I just feel like at this point in time, and I feel like we've been saying this for the past couple years since the dynasty kind of ended after that Celtics championship, where it's like, it just feels like the Warriors front office isn't going all in on the Steph Curry timeline right now. And they're still kind of trying to play the 2 timeline of like, we have Steph, but we know he's older. So let's get in these young guys and let them get the minutes. So maybe at one point we can have the young guys also be around Steph Curry. And then when Steph leaves, like, they're still planning on when Steph leaves a little bit, it feels like. And it's like, no. Like we saw last year, Steph Curry is still a top 10, 15, like still one of the guys in the NBA that if you have on your team, you're going to be really, really good. And it just feels like the Warriors the front office is not hungry enough to go out and make. I mean, they did it with Jimmy Butler. I was surprised they did it with Jimmy Butler. They put the chips in the middle of the table for him, gave him his extension. All right. Now it's time to kind of build this team out a little bit more. And they have not done anything. They haven't made a move. They have done nothing so far. So I don't know what's going on over there, but I think right now they are big losers of free agency. A few days in. Another team I feel like is losing free agency, the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers, the big losing Miles Turner was a big loss for them. Especially to their rival, the Milwaukee Bucks. That was a big loss, especially before the finals. They were talked about like, we're going to keep Miles Turner around. For the first time in 20-something years, they're going to go into the luxury tax. They've never been an expensive team. They've never been a team to have a bunch of contracts on. They've always been kind of a cheaper team. But this year, they're like, all right, we're going into the luxury tax, and we're going to sign Miles Turner. We're going to keep this team together because we're in the NBA Finals right now, and we think we're really good. This is the best team we've had in a very, very long time, which makes sense. And then you have the Tyrese Halliburton injury, And I guess maybe that's been a factor in them not being super aggressive. And then you lose out Miles Turner on your own accord, it feels like. Because after he signed the Bucks, it was reported that he wanted to stay in Indiana. He wanted to be a Pacer. But apparently they wouldn't budge off of a 3-year, $60 million type of deal, basically only $20 million per year when the Bucks are offering 26. So them saying like, oh, we're going to go on the luxury tax, we're going to keep this team together, looks like kind of like a lie right now. It looks like they were just kind of lying, maybe to try to lowball him, to hope that other teams weren't going to go after because they're like, oh, well, he's staying anyway, whatever. And it didn't work. And now you lose Miles Turner. You don't have Tyrese Halliburton for next year. So I don't think they've made really any other move so far for I don't think they've brought anybody in either. So there's still a kind of thing there. Then DeAndre Ayton now is going to be a Laker. Al Horford, I don't know if he's going to go to Indiana. And now your center position looks very like a big question mark. Is it going to be Isaiah Jackson, Tony Bradley, Thomas Bryant? Like, I don't know. So it has me thinking about what are the Pacers going to look like next year? Because back in my looking video that I did after they lost, I was like, this team, even without Tyrese Halliburton, because I was like, dang near, I could have written in stone guaranteed bet money that Miles Turner was going to stay in Indiana. They were going to give him his extension. Like, this team for sure could be a playoff team next year in the Eastern Conference. They probably aren't going to go to the finals or go to the conference finals, but they're still going to be a very solid team. It's just the ceiling kind of gets a little bit lower, but they're still going to be good. Now without Miles Turner, I'm kind of thinking like, not saying they're not going to be good, but it's like, what is the front office thinking about what next year is going to look like? Are they actually going to try to compete next year? Or maybe are they going to try to do like a thing next year where it's like, you know what? We kind of suck right now. I mean, we don't have Tyrese Halliburton. We lost Miles Turner. We're kind of in this weird spot right now. Let's just kind of take next year, kind of like what Boston's going to do, what it looks like, where Boston's kind of going to be like, we don't have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown's here. We have to trade away all these guys, because we're too expensive. Let's take a step back. They got Anthony Simons. They signed Luka Garza, Josh Minot. They lost Holiday, George Niang they brought in. Like, they just kind of are like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's kind of chill next season. We're still going to try a little bit, but we're not going to be that great next year. Let's take a step back. Maybe try to get a good draft pick. Let some of these young guys kind of get an opportunity at some point. And then in 2027, we'll be back. And maybe thinking, is that what Indiana's going to do? Are they going to take a kind of chill next year and be like, you know what, we're going to be decent still, but let's not kind of go all in. They traded for their own pick back from New Orleans right before the Game 7, which is kind of crazy timing that, like, they trade for their own pick next year back right before Tyrese Halliburton gets hurt. That's, the world is weird like that sometimes. But we have our own pick back next year. Let's kind of just take a step back, chill a little bit, get a decent draft pick, and then 2027, when Tyrese comes back, hopefully we get another big man, and then that's when we go, and that's when we come back. Which, is that the best move? I don't know. I really don't, because I still felt like this Pacers team was going to be good. But them not keeping Miles Turner around was maybe the most surprising move of free agency so far, right? Along with the Damian Lillard waiving, which is kind of like a hand-in-hand type of thing that happened. But just crazy. And now I feel like they're kind of a loser right now because you lose out on Miles Turner, and now the direction of the team is kind of like in a weird limbo where it's like, what are we actually trying to do with this team next in 2026? What are the Indiana Pacers going to be in 2026? That's still a big question mark. So I think they're kind of a loser right now. And the final team we're talking about, it's not really an important team. It's not a team that's going to try to contend or anything like that. It's the Utah Jazz. They kind of have been a loser in the offseason in a very weird way. The moves they made, they traded away Colin Sexton and a second for Yusuf Nurkic, which is very interesting. I feel like apparently the Jazz wanted Nurkic around in this team. And you get rid of Colin Sexton, who by no means, I don't think Colin Sexton is a superstar or an all-star. I love Colin Sexton. He was a former Cavalier. I have a jersey of him, actually. Like, I love Young Bull. But, like, that's all you could get? Yusuf Nurkic? Really? They also couldn't trade Jordan Clarkson, which they really missed the mark on because they should have traded him 3 years ago when his value was still really good. They had to buy him out. And they haven't really done anything else. They're still kind of in this weird spot of like, are they going to try to, like, when Austin Ainge, Danny Ainge's son, and them were hired in Utah and all this stuff, in their press conference, they said like, we're not tanking anymore. And that was first off like, okay, why? I don't know, but maybe they like what things are going. And then you see the moves they're making, you're like, but you're not getting any better. Like they drafted Ace Bailey, which I think really talented player, but also now you have that whole controversy of does he actually want to be in Utah? Because Utah was not one of the places he wanted to go, and you could definitely tell that he didn't really want to be in Utah, and you drafted him anyway, which is a huge kind of risk you're taking a little bit. So now that's a big controversy that's gonna follow basically all year until he finally shows that he's actually really good, and people will shut up about it. Um, you still have is Walker Kessler getting traded? I don't really know. Like you bring in, I think the idea behind bringing in Yusuf Nurkic is that they're making a bigger move. They're trading away Walker Kessler, so they just want a big man just to stand in for now. You still have this kind of question mark of all these young guys of Keontae George, Isaiah Collier, Bryce Sensabaugh, Taylor Hendricks, Kyle Filipowski, Ace Bailey now is in there, like which I think is like not a bad problem to have. Having a lot of young players, but they're still, but like, is Larry Marketing still going to be around? How good is he still? They couldn't get anything for Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton. All they got was Yusuf Nurkic. And for those two players, they got Yusuf Nurkic basically because they had to buy out Jordan Clarkson because no one wanted to trade for him. So I feel like Utah Jazz are just also in a weird spot where it's like, what is really going on? Are they actually going to try to compete a little bit? Are they going to be buyers? Are they selling? Like, who's going to be around for this team? Does this team actually know what they're doing? Like, I really don't know. I look at the Utah Jazz and it's just a big question mark of like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know what is going on. Like, are we trying to be bad? Because if we're trying to be bad, because we still, at least at this point right now, they still don't really have a franchise piece. Like, you assume it's gonna be Larry Marketing, but he's also just got paid a crazy amount of money and he's 28, like 27, 28 in that range specifically. And he's still a solid player. He didn't have a great year last year. He's still a good player though. But it's like, is he really the number one on your team? No. Especially when the roster, like you're not competing in the Western Conference. You're not anywhere close to OKC, to Denver, to Houston, to Clippers, Minnesota, Memphis. Like the Lakers still have LeBron and Luka. Golden State still has Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy. Memphis is getting better. Dallas is going to be good. Like San Antonio. Like you're still not near any of those teams. So Larry Marketing being your one is interesting. All the young guys you have are solid young players. I think have some potential, but I don't think there's anybody in that pack that can be like a number one option beside maybe Ace Bailey. Has the highest potential out of all those guys, and that's the risk you're kind of taking with bringing in Ace Bailey. But then again, you brought him in to a situation that he didn't want to go to at all. So he's already kind of going in on a wrong foot. So, like, are we trying to tank? Because if we're trying to tank, then good. Let's get rid of some of these guys. Let's let all these young guys play. And let's go try to get AJ DeBansa next year. And let's, build that way. But from everything that they're saying to us, they don't want to tank. So it's like, okay, you're trying to compete in the West with Larry Marketing as your best player and Walker Kessler and Keontae George. I don't know how that lines up. So I just, they're a loser this free agency because we still don't know what the heck is going on in Utah. What direction are they going in? Who's going to be around? Who's not going to be around? The moves they're making are very weird. They've kind of not. They've lost a lot of leverage on a lot of their guys. It's just very weird right now. So I think Utah is also a loser this free agency somehow. But yeah, it's going to be it today. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know down in the comment section below how you feel about these teams. Are there any other teams that you think are losing this free agency right now? Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, doing all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.